What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Bowie back at it again. And, you know, what I wanted to do with this video is I want to try something different. What I'd like to do is I'd like to give, a comprehensive ranking of my favorite NRS Mortal Kombat games. And I want to do it in order of the one I prefer the least, all the way to the one I prefer the most. Those of you that know me may or may not already know the order in which this video is going to go. But for those of you that do not know, y'all gonna be on this ride with me as I talk about this, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? So stay tuned to learn about which games I prefer and which ones I do not. Starting with Mortal Kombat X. So this is the title that I prefer the least in the NRS series of Mortal Kombats. And, I'd like to talk a little bit about what I do like and why it's number 3 on the list of things of MKs that I prefer. So let's talk about the good first. So for starters, the idea of giving each character 3 completely distinct variations, I think was a tremendous idea. It didn't work for the stated purpose that NRS tried to use it for, because their stated reason was to try to prevent people from having to choose a different character. So the purpose of the variation system was to supposedly to stop the counterpicking meta that was prevalent in Mortal Kombat 9. That didn't really work. Because in many instances when a character beat one variation, sometimes they beat all 3 of the variations for the same reason. You know what I'm saying? But, the variation system in this game was still a great idea. And I'll use Sub-Zero as an example. So for one, this game feels fresh and snappy. It's really, really, really fast. And there's a lot of combos to be made here. So let me just give you a quick breakdown of just some of the combos that Sub-Zero has, for instance. So Sub-Zero can do 1-1 into freeze, jump in, launcher. I dropped it because of course I dropped it. And so with that, you're in the corner. That's off of his 1-1 punish. His main combo starter, though, was back 1-2. So you could do that same combo from back 1-2. And it does more damage and has the benefit of being mid. Now, those were not your only 2 combo starters. He also had the overhead, which led to that. He also had his double low, back 3-3, which you could do into the classic corner carry combo. He could even do off of a further ranging mid, because look how far this mid extends, you see? So forward 4 hits all the way out here where none of his other normals reached. And as you can guess, I can do the typical corner carry combo, So right there, Sub-Zero has, 4 methods of starting combos. And this is universal between not only Grandmaster, but Unbreakable Sub-Zero. So Unbreakable Sub-Zero is capable of all of these combos as well, But then Cryomancer, he has an extra option. See, whereas the other 2 Sub-Zeros could only do 1-1, Cryomancer can do 1-1-1. And then he can carry you to the corner as well if he wanted to. But also, because he's Cryomancer, he has access to a command grab. And so he can do more damage than the typical corner carry combo and have greater Okazemi while putting you in the corner. Furthermore, Sub-Zero also had this new string here. And I drop it because, of course. Bruh. There we go. So if you want to maximize your damage mid-screen without meter, that's the way you would go about doing it. And, you know, with the 3 variations, more or less you have 3 completely distinct versions of your characters that they had different utility. So for instance, this version of Sub-Zero, this one is actually the one I played the most, Cryomancer, because I felt like Cryomancer most thoroughly represented my preferred gameplay style, which is, you know, punish heavy, high damage, that kind of thing, you know. And so against the vast majority of characters, if I was going to pick Sub-Zero, I would lean towards picking this one first. But this one's not the best version of Sub-Zero. That would go to Grandmaster. See, because Grandmaster has the clone, you see. And with this clone, Sub-Zero becomes a very dangerous man. And this leads me into one thing I also enjoy about MKX quite a bit, is the combo variety. Wow. Bruh. You know. So anyway, there are so many combos in this game. There's more combos in this game than there are even in Mortal Kombat 9. You know what I'm saying? And because the characters are broken down by variation, each variation has its own unique combos. You know what I'm saying? Like this combo that I just did here, only Grandmaster Sub can do this. The other the other variations of Sub-Zero have no access to this combo route here. You know what I'm saying? None of the rest of them can combo off of throws like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you played a character and you use all 3 variations, you had 3 different, you know, pages of combos that you had to know. And for those of us that really like doing combos, this was perfect, you know? So that's one of the things that, you know, is one of the most beneficial things about MKX. Also, this game was overhauled compared to its predecessor in terms of the options, because look at this menu here. This practice mode is fantastic. You got your normals clearly labeled along with frame data right there on the screen. And so you had full access to all your information right there. There was no guessing. There was no ambiguity. You know, you have all your strings. You have all the pertinent data for your strings. You know, you have your special moves. This game was very much based on the Mortal Kombat 9 system. And so you have basically EX moves that you have to do while pressing the block button. But this game also introduced meter burn moves, which I'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, In MK9, you didn't have any frame data. You had no idea how fast your normals were, unless you went on some forums and looked up Somber This is frame data on Test Your Might. Then you would know your frame data. You know, a lot of you casuals don't know what I'm talking about right now, but don't worry about that. But the point is, you're armed with knowledge in this game, and this game gave you that knowledge right from the get-go, which I really do appreciate. Also, one other thing about this game that I really enjoyed were this is the first time in Mortal Kombat where characters had more than 3 costumes. Let me see. I mean, look at Katana. She's got 5 distinct costumes right out the gate. How many does Scorpion have? 6. What about Sub? 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, some characters have more, some have less. Goro doesn't have any because he's DLC. You know. But characters had a lot of options as to how to dress them. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the really cool things about this game, you know. Now, I got to talk about the things I do not like about this game. Why this particular game is number 3 on my list of NRS Mortal Kombats. So, I need to put this down here. So, one of the primary reasons I don't like Mortal Kombat 11, I'm sorry, Mortal Kombat X as much as the other two is look at this. Look at this movement. Now, to the uneducated, the uninitiated out there, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? He's walking backwards. I'll tell you what the big deal is. Look at how slowly he's walking away and forward. The movement in this game is poor. The walking movement, that is. But then when it comes down to dashing, you can dash really quickly. And when it comes to the jumping, you jump even quicker. But then the quickest way to move is literally that right there. This right here is what I dislike. One of the things I dislike about this game the most. The addition of the run mechanic means that instead of you having to earn your position in your opponent's face, you know, instead of you having to, you know, get through the journey of having to get to your opponent, or instead of you being able to make them go through hell to get to you, you can just run up. Run up, get done up. You know what I'm saying? Especially from here. In a normal fighting game, very few normals hit from this range. But in this game, you can hit a fool right from the get-go. From here, some characters can hit people from here. Some characters can even hit people from here. And if you're Tremor, you can hit a fool from all the way out here with a string. Smoke can do it with a normal. You know what I'm saying? So nowhere on this screen is safe for you to get hit. So being able to make people whiff strings and stuff like that, it's not really possible in this game. Because look at how far this hits from. I'm all the way out here. And I still was able to connect with the last hit of that string. Now, you don't see Sub-Zero players doing the string from out here because that doesn't make any sense. You know why they don't do it from out here? Because we can just do that. We can run up and just do that. So any little opening. Hold on. Or, oh, here we go. Any little opening, I'm right in your face. For free. You know? And the reason why that's important is because in fighting games, you have to earn your real estate. You know, you don't just get to be in your opponent's face whenever you want. They have the option to walk away. They have the option to throw projectiles and keep you at distance. They have the option to use their normals and their range to stop you from being in their face whenever they want to be. This game says, nah, fuck all that. Get a knockdown, run up on them. You know what I'm saying? Any opening at all, run up on them from wherever. You know what I'm saying? And if you turn around and try to play any other fighting game, that kind of gameplay will not be rewarded because it's just not possible. You know what I'm saying? Let some fool try to run up on someone in Street Fighter and see how well that goes. This will never happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, the other thing I don't like about this game is this. 50-50s. So for those of you that don't know, a 50-50 is a situation in which the opponent has to decide how to block your attack. And they cannot simultaneously defend against both type of attacks. So Sub-Zero can do a double low attack, and it's a string that leads to a combo. You have to block this low in order to successfully defend against it, which is fine. But he also has this 13 frame overhead. Actually, I think it's 17 frames. Let's see. How fast is this overhead? It's, 17 frames. It's negative 13 on block. That's why I thought 13. But anyway, you can't react to this because this is 12 frames. Human reaction times vary between, 19 and 25 frames. So this right here is way too fast for the average human to see and then simultaneously react to. You have no idea that this is going to happen to you until you see it and it's too late. Same thing with this because it's so fast. You see? Now, the thing about the overhead is you have to block that standing, because if you block low, it still hits you. The problem with this game is that damn near every character has an overhead low mix-up. Virtually all of them. Somewhere. And what makes this worse is, in many cases, not only are these 50-50s unreactable, many of them lead to combos and can be made to be safe in either case. Whether you do the overhead or you do the low, you're completely safe. Sub-Zero is a primary example of this, because if Sub-Zero does back 3-3, he can cancel it into EX Ice Ball to make himself relatively safe. Let me double check before I... yeah, it's -8 on block. And it has pushback, so you're not blocking that. Let me see. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Always. Look at that. Look at that pushback. You're not punishing that. You're not punishing that at all. So that's basically safe. So he has a safe low. Now, this is technically -13. Characters can punish this, but if you space it, it's very difficult for most characters to punish. And by the time you see it, you're so happy that you blocked it that you forget to punish it. And not every character can do it. So that's safe too. So characters have safe 50-50s. And in conjunction with being able to run up on you from full screen, that means you can't keep your opponent away from you. You have no way to prevent someone from doing this to you unless you play some of the most oppressive zoners in the game. And that's a problem, because people hate being zoned. Especially casuals, the scrubby ones, more specifically. But that's one of the major problems that I have with this game. Let me show you another major problem I have with this game. Let's see. Wait a minute. That's not the one. Hold on. There we go. Actually, I need to move him back. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Whoops. God dog it. Anyway. Now, you might be wondering, what am I doing? That right there is what I have a problem with. The jump-ins in this game are absurd. Look at how far away Kotal Khan can hit me from. This is way further than round start distance. He can hit me from all the way out here. He can jump from right there and hit me. See? Now, you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? I'll tell you what's wrong. When you try to anti-air and stop him from doing this, you might get launched. See? I use my standing one as an anti-air, and I get hit in the head. Now, why is this a problem? Combo damage is really, really high in this game, especially off of a jump in. So, because you already can't keep people away from you, they can already run up on you and be directly in your face. But thanks to the jump ins, some characters don't even have to be in your face. They can be at half screen and they can jump and do a combo on you. And you have, depending on the character that you're playing, few options to stop it. And so this creates a meta where, people are always jumping at folks. And if your character has weak anti-airs, which a lot of characters do in this game, there ain't nothing you can do about it. And so this, in conjunction with a bunch of other idiosyncrasies, creates a game whose meta is predicated on running up on people from wherever you're at, doing mindless 50-50s, and there's no defense against the 50-50. There's no way to improve at guessing right with 50-50s. You just got to guess better. And so it's entirely possible for you to lose a match against someone who's not as good as you, skill-wise, but is better at making you guess. And if you guess wrong, you will lose entire matches against people with these 50-50s. And 50-50s were as prevalent as candy in Halloween in this game. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had them. You can go to any character and see a 50-50 mix-up somewhere in their toolkit. And, that was the meta of the game. Run up on somebody, do a 50-50, knock them down, do it again. And unless you had some silly-ass zoning tools or silly-ass stop combo tools like an Ice Clone or a Hell Sparks or something like that, you really couldn't stop people from doing this all that well, at least not consistently. And even the characters with these tools still couldn't stop every character from doing it. So, this game, though I sunk a lot of hours into it, and I do enjoy the combo variety, the freedom, and the variations, this game left a very bitter taste in my mouth due to the prevalence of 50-50s and the lack of, fundamental neutral-based gameplay. The same kind that I picked up from Mortal Kombat 9. More on that game later. So yeah, this game is number 3 in my comprehensive list and rankings of Mortal Kombats. So I guess once you know what the next game is on this list, you'll know what game number 1 is. So I'll get to that right about now. Mortal Kombat 11. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is one thing I didn't like about either the two MKs was the advertisements for other games on the main page. That's something that NRS needs to stop doing. But anyway, so me having this game as my second favorite Mortal Kombat kind of puts me at odds with a lot of the rest of the community, particularly those filthy casuals that I've been talking about. But so I want to talk about why Mortal Kombat 11 is my second favorite. So for one, just looking at the colors, this game is much more bright and vibrant than the dead and cold and drab MKX. Not to mention the character models look way better, you know. But most of what I prefer about MK11 to MKX is predicated on the gameplay. It's always about the gameplay. And so Mortal Kombat 11 attempts to fix the wrongs that were present in MKX. For one, there's no run. There's no run anywhere in this game. Your movement is walking, it's dashing, it's wave dashing, which I'm not very good at, but I can do it every now and again, you know what I'm saying? And then jumping. Now, already you can see that this game feels a lot more slower and more deliberate than Mortal Kombat X. And for some of you, this is why MK11 is number 3 and not number 2 or number 1. But the benefit of the slower gameplay is you have more time to think about how you want to react to your opponent. See, MKX is action combat. This game, Mortal Kombat 11, is more reaction combat. And so you're rewarded for responding to your opponent appropriately depending on what they do. Because you got to walk to get to them. You don't just get to them for free. Even on a knockdown. Let me show you. You see? Notice that I can get to my opponent, but by the time I get there, they're already up. Let me do a slide. See? You remember, in Mortal Kombat X, when I did this, I was all up in their face well before they could get up. Whereas in here, by the time I get to them, they're already up, ready to meet me. Now, wave dashing alleviates this a little bit. And again, I'm not that good at it, but, you know, you get the idea. But the point is, you have to earn your way into the opponent's face and space. And that's something that I really enjoy about this game as opposed to MKX. You know what I'm saying? In general, this game is much more of a footsies-based fighter. So, let me show you what I mean. For one, notice anti-airs are way stronger. If you think your opponent's going to jump at you, you could be like, oh, hell nah, stop. See that? And depending on the character you were playing, you had different options to stop them from jumping at you. You see? I do that all the time online. You know what I'm saying? You can straight uppercut. Uppercut works. But you can also jab. You can just straight walk back. Look at that. Now, if you walk back too late, you get hit. But that's when the jab comes into play. See? Oh, I've never done that before. That's dope. But anyway, so notice I came up with a whole bunch of, anti-air combos. And as you saw, Scorpion's jumping attack is, it sticks out pretty far. Now, let me be clear. There are characters that have jumping attacks that are just as egregious as they were in MKX. That's something else I forgot to mention about MKX. Certain characters like Kotal Khan I was using, they have jump attacks that are like super dumb. And there's some characters like that in this game too. Who's a really, yo ass. Devora and her jump in one is Riri. Y'all watch this. So let's see. Whoops. I ain't even do it right. Look how far this hits. That's a Kotal Khan jump in. But once again, even as far away as that hits from, if you read it, you can do something about it. Now, if you're too slow, you're going to get hit. Yes. So this is where Devora is going to try to hit you from. And maybe Sub-Zero. Ooh. Oh, Sub-Zero does have that option. I forgot about that. Can you uppercut it? Let's see. See that? You can still uppercut. You see? So even from these crazy ranges where maybe your traditional anti-air doesn't work that well, you can still uppercut. And certain characters like Noob Saibot and Baraka and stuff like that, they can just stop you from jumping altogether. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why that's important is because in 99% of fighting games out there, there's an ebb and flow between what you do mid-screen and what your opponent does mid-screen. Both of you guys start off here. And though, now notice, in MKX, I could just poke the opponent from here. Right at the start of the round. Not possible. I have to take a risk. I can do this, but this is a high. And if they duck it, I'm dead. I could do this, but this is slow. It's 21 frames. And, is it 21 or is it 19? Let me see. Hold on. Wait. It is 19. Okay. Yeah. 19 frames. Still not quite reactable, but it's slow enough for someone to interrupt, or you can move out of the way. But the point is, I have to take a risk to hit my opponent from here. Whereas at MKX, you could hit your opponents from pretty much anywhere on the screen without much risk to you at all. This is not true in 99% of other fighting games. Anytime you did anything, it was a risk. There was no one option that was just universally great with no weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? And that kind of give or take ebb and flow dichotomy, it encourages good decision making, and it rewards good decision making. It encourages making reads and being rewarded for making good reads. And those skills will carry over into other fighting games. See, the run up and done up dynamic in MKX, you might be able to use that in some other fighting games that are also fast paced and you know, really all up in your face. But if you turn around and try to play Tekken that way, it ain't going to work that well. If you try to play Street Fighter that way, it ain't going to work that well because you're going to get killed, you know? And if you even try to take that into this game, you're going to get smacked in the face with a lot of stuff, you know? Now, compared to MKX, this game definitely has a dearth of combos. A dearth means a relative lack thereof. You know, combos are pretty, you know, standard, and there's far fewer options. So, for one, the variation system does not make your characters very unique. You know, this is my trap or die variation. And in this variation, instead of having pre-equipped moves, I get to pick the moves I want. So I have, oh, this is the one with the Arctic Trap. So I have Arctic Trap, and then, oh, I have Rising Ice. Okay. So I have Rising Ice, Arctic Trap. This combo that I'm going to do now, that's the same combo I have in all my variations. And I can get that off of 1, 2, 2, 1, back 3, 2, you know, anything. Jump into 4. Hold on. You know. Wait, does that work? No, that shit doesn't even work. Never mind. I don't know why I thought that combo. Tripping. Anyway. Oh, I'm thinking this. Yeah. So, I don't have a bunch of pre-canned combo routes like I do in MKX, you know. And if I don't have Rising Ice, I can't even do that combo that you saw me do, the one that did 319 damage. So without Rising Ice, that combo's not possible. And so you don't have as many combo routes, which is a shame. What else? So, as opposed to MKX, where most of the janky mechanics that were in MKX were baked into the design of the game purposely, this game had a mixture of design choices that were deliberate, and then other gameplay elements that, though they were introduced deliberately, their application was actually much less deliberate. So, for instance, Breakaway is real bad. So, let me see if I can, you know what, let me do this. I'm going to show y'all a real live example. So, I'm going to be Scorpion, and I'll fight Sub. Hold on. So in this game, my number one gripe is the breakaway system. It's bad, man. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record my character doing a combo. Okay, so Sub-Zero's doing a combo on me. Hold on. Hold on. If you break out at the right time, you can punish your opponent with a combo for doing combos on you. Bruh. I haven't really practiced this. Let me see. Did I do the, I did do the slide after that, didn't I? Okay, I did. Okay. I was just trying to make sure. So yeah, let me see here. So when your character Hold on. Also, let me. This works the other way around as well. Hold on. Whoops. Record. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see what I have to do. See, look at that. Scorpion comboed me. But I get to hit him for more damage than he hit me with. That's wrong. That's wrong as hell. That goes against every concept in every other fighting game, just as much as the obsessive rush down of MKX. Perhaps even more so. Now, I don't think NRS intentionally designed the game to where they wanted you to be able to combo people for comboing them. You know, let me rephrase that. I don't think NRS wanted people to be able to punish people with a combo for doing a combo. I don't think that was their intentional design. I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to undo the inequities of the old meter system. And they wanted to introduce a more Injustice-esque mechanic into this game that, you know, thread the needle a little bit between Injustice and Mortal Kombat, because the breakaway system is an Injustice thing. And frankly, it should have stayed there. It's bad. It's real bad. Because as you can see, I got hit with a combo. But if I drop out at the right time, they can combo me. That's wrong. It's very wrong. You know? So there's that. Some other issues with Mortal Kombat 11 include the fatal blows. So in this game, you can perform a fatal blow whenever your health bar is at 30%. So let me get to that right now. So as soon as I'm here, I can do a fatal blow. And I've talked in depth about how fatal blows really ought to be balanced so that they're not so frequent. They need to occur at 5% health rather than 30% health, because it's way too easy to get your opponent to 30% health. But the problem with fatal blows is you can just kind of do them. You know what I'm saying? For one, you can just kind of do them. And anyone that's ever played against a Sub-Zero online knows about this. That's the Sub-Zero special, where he robs you for 37% of your health. You know what I'm saying? And because he already has this low mix-up, that makes this more powerful. That makes the throw game more powerful, you know? So the problem with the fatal blows is, notice I whiffed it, right? So right now I can't do it. But after a while, the fatal blow comes back and I can do it again. That's not a practice mode thing. That's something you can do in every single match. Whereas in MKX and MK9, if you did your X-ray, all your meter was gone and you had to build all your bar back up to do that X-ray again. You see? Now, with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, this is already pernicious enough, but when you're fighting characters that have full screen fatal blows, this right here is ridiculous. Because if you're fighting Aaron Black and he does his gunshot fatal blow and you duck the first one, you feel fortunate as hell. But sometime later, by the time I'm done with my sentence here, he can do it again. And that's wrong. It's a very degenerate mechanic in that way. It should have been a one and done situation from the get-go. I mean, I understand trying to give players a second chance, but a third chance and a fourth chance, that's excessive. Far too excessive. Again, I don't necessarily believe that NRS fully intended this. I don't think they thought it all the way through, you know. I think that was more accidental than anything. And then there's some other gameplay quiggles that make this game annoying. But the overall mid-screen footsie-based gameplay aspect of it, the strong anti-airs aspect of this game, make it a much superior experience to MKX for me. Now, other people are not going to feel the same way, but there's all kinds of joy that I get from doing the following thing that you're about to see me do with Shao Kahn. So Shao Kahn, he has a slow 9-frame jab. He's the only character with a 9-frame jab in the game, right? But look at that range. You can be right there and begin your combo. Right? And because Shao Kahn is so tall, you cannot jump at that boy. You can't do it. Because you'll die every single time. You can fish for that. It don't matter if you're early or late. It don't matter if you're close or far. Look at that. I get so much joy out of plucking people out of the sky with this character and doing this combo on people. So much joy. Hold on, let me see what happens with your... Now, if someone jumps in from back here, you can do that. And it's the same situation. Don't you jump at me, boy. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. You know what I'm saying? So up close, you can't jump at the boy. From range, you can't jump at the boy. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So Shao Kahn controls a bunch of space around him. And so that makes the journey of the opponent getting to me risky for them. That means they have to think about how they want to attack me. Because if they go about it the wrong way, they're going to lose their life. That's something I immensely enjoy about this game as opposed to Mortal Kombat X. And it's why Mortal Kombat 11 ranks at number 2 on my all-time favorite NRS Mortal Kombat list. So given that fact, you already know what number 1's about to be. So let me get to that right about now. I goddamn love this game. Mortal Kombat 9. It is as close to a perfect Mortal Kombat game as it gets. For one, the roster is unbeaten. Freddy Krueger was in this game. Rain was in the game. Kenshi and Scarlet, a brand new character. Plus Cyber Sub, Quan Chi, and all the characters that the vast majority of old school fans gave a damn about. Now, there are fans, many of you, who got into Mortal Kombat during the, 3D era. And that's cool. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's good. You know what I'm saying? 3D era was cool. But without these characters on screen right now, it wouldn't be no 3D era. These are the characters that made the franchise what it is. These are the characters that people think of when you hear the name Mortal Kombat. Now, for one, look at this movement. Look at that. Now, this game also did not have a run button, much like MK11, but it had dash blocking. And as much as the developers seem to despise this mechanic, us players love it because it allows us to traverse the screen really quickly. So I get to run up on the opponent if I want to, but it's not as degenerate as the run button. It's not a get in for free kind of thing. There's still risk to it because while I'm running and blocking, I'm still susceptible to getting hit with a low. If I mistime the block, I can get smacked in the face. You see what I'm saying? So it's a nice little way to traverse the screen without being degenerate, without just giving people a free chance to run up on you. Now, compared to the other two, this game had degenerate bugs. Meter drain glitch, player one advantage, that kind of thing. There's other bugs, 100% resets, things of that nature. Negative edge, killing people's down poke game sometimes, those kind of things. But those are completely accidental. MK11's idiosyncrasies were more incidental, so they were a result of purposeful design choices, but they were taken out of context. Things such as the breakaways punishing people for doing combos on folks. I think that was incidental. That was an incidental occurrence, an incidental result of the breakaway system. That's not something that they intentionally designed for or intentionally thought about. It's something that players discovered that they could do. It was not baked into the design philosophy of the game. And then with MKX, you're supposed to run up on people and shove 50-50s down their throat. You're supposed to do that, because if you ain't doing that, you're not winning. You know what I'm saying? That was a purposeful design philosophy. So MKX was deliberately degenerate. MK11 was accidentally degenerate, or incidentally degenerate. And then this game was sometimes accidentally degenerate, but it was fun the whole time, you dig? So much like MK11, oh damn it, I can't make the opponent jump towards me. But much like MK11, if the opponent jumps towards you, they're in for a world full of hurt. Can I switch? God damn it, I can't. That sucks. But yeah, if someone jumps at you, they're in a world full of hurt. Especially since the jump arcs in this game are all standardized. Everyone jumps the same height. They jump from the same distance. They have the same jump in attacks. Everything is standardized. So you don't have to practice specific timings for one character versus another because they all have universal jump-ins. That's something that MKX did away with, and MK11 also did away with it as well. So once you know anti-airs for one character, they work on everybody. And so it was very dangerous to jump at your opponent in this game, which I really appreciate. Also, though there were some normals that reached really far, you have a lot of time to interrupt this. You know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, most strings, you have to be here to hit most of your strings for the vast majority of characters in this game. Now, some characters like Katana could hit you from back here, but she did so at a risk to herself. You know, so she had to be really sure that she was going to hit you from here. But most characters had to be at least here to successfully attack you. You see what I'm saying? And even then, they're not hitting you with their best stuff, so they really got to be like here. And so all of this is neutral territory, meaning you have to be careful where you put your feet, because if you weren't careful, a character like Cyrax could do this, and you couldn't block that. You know what I'm saying? So he could make you walk across a literal minefield. You know what I mean? But speaking of Cyrax, this game enjoyed a lot of the same combo variety that MKX did. Here are two versions of a Cyrax reset. This is the old reset I used to do. For a grand total of 70% damage. And then here's the one that I learned to do. More than 70% damage. Now, that's really cool. That's super cool. Not for the opponent, but for me, hell yeah. Awesome. Because even though Cyrax could do those things, he couldn't do them for free. He had to get to you. You know, notice where I had to hit the opponent from. I had to be here to even initiate any of that stuff. So I had to take risk. So characters could keep him out. Characters could hit him from ranges that he couldn't hit them from. And if he thought about jumping at them at the wrong time, he's dead meat, because anti-airs are strong as shit in this game. You know what I'm saying? So even though Cyrax could do these crazy things, he had to take risk in order to do it. And that's something that, you know, MK11 carried with it. And MKX did away with risk altogether for the attacker. Now, another thing that I really enjoy about Mortal Kombat 9 was that out of the 3 games, it's the only one with complete archetypes. So these 2 characters on screen, I play both of them. And both of them, for one, they're complete characters. Johnny Cage is a complete character, and this is the version of Johnny Cage that you're going to get. The only version that there is. And Noob is also a complete character. Not as good as Johnny, but he's a complete character anyway. But Johnny Cage is a pure rushdown character in this game. So let me show you what I'm talking about. That right there was a frame trap. That was a frame trap. This is a frame trap. You know, depending. This could be a frame trap as well. So that was Johnny Cage right there. You had to block a lot of that. Virtually all of that. And if you stopped blocking at the wrong time, you got killed. So Johnny Cage wanted to be right here. You know? Now, does he have a string that can hit from far away? Yes. But that string's slow. And if he hits with the last part of that overhead, it sort of put him in the range where he wants to be, but not really. Because this is his mid, and it doesn't have a whole bunch of range. Now, he could do this, but again, the first hit doesn't hit from that range. He wants to be here. And so, if you're a Johnny Cage player, your job is to figure out how to get here so that you can do your Johnny Cage things. Now, the one thing about this game is that the practice menu wasn't all that just yet, you know what I'm saying? So we had to, if you wanted to switch between your characters on the fly, you really couldn't do that. Now, by contrast, Noob Saibot is a zoner. He wants to be here so that he can hit you with this and this. So in the Noob Saibot Johnny Cage match, your job is to figure out, as Noob, your job is to figure out how to keep Cage over there. Because if Cage is right here, he kills you. But out here, all out here, this is Noob's playground. Because he has this, he has this, he has this, and if you thought about jumping at him, pow, he hits you with that. You see? Because anti-airs are strong in this game. And so, knowing this creates a very interesting dichotomy in every single match. Because now, when you do the Noob versus Johnny match, depending on which character you play, you're going to have a different experience and you're going to have different goals. That dynamic is something that practically doesn't exist in the other two MK games. Because the custom variation system in MK11 had the effect of flattening the archetype range. You know, there were certain characters that were zoners and were rushdown characters. But because you could pick your custom moves, the characters that were zoners often had some decent rushdown tools as well. And the characters that were rushdown characters had a lot of anti-zoning tools like Jackie Briggs. Anyway. So you don't have that dynamic as much as you did in this game. So in addition to the neutral game that you already play in this fighting game, as the new player, you don't want to be anywhere in this range of Cage because he's going to kill you. You want to keep him here or further. As the Cage player, you don't want to be anywhere but here because Noob kills you from this range or further. And so you have an interesting dynamic that's really, really fun to play with someone that's just as skilled as you. But then just because Noob Saibot zoned didn't mean he didn't have combos and setups. You see? Now you could escape this. But look at that. That's cool. That's really, really cool. And this came from a zoner. You see? So the zoner, even though he wasn't trying to be in your face, if he had to be in your face, he could still do cool things, which is really, really dope. Also, you had some very interesting gameplay dynamics. So this is my favorite version of Sub-Zero by far because of that move right there, Ice Clone. So notice in MK11, Sub-Zero didn't have an Ice Clone at all. But in this game, first and foremost, Sub-Zero's movement is fantastic. Look at that shit. Ridiculous. Anyway, also, his forward and back dashing is ridiculous. So, in this game, not only could you do a clone, you could do a clone in the air. Let me see. And clone took the shape of whatever you were doing when you did it. See? Look at that. And there's a lot of freedom that comes with something like that. Because, let me see. With Sub-Zero, bruh. Of course I dropped my combo. I've only been doing the combo for 10 years. So in the corner, you can do that. But also, let me see if I can do it here. Bruh. You could also do that, which is really cool, you know? And so you had freedom with how you wanted to play your character. And, you know, Sub-Zero generally wants the opponent here, generally speaking. And so in this particular matchup against Reptile, this is a really, 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 really fun matchup. Very even, where Reptile has superior damage, superior zoning tools, and stuff like that. And he's the better character overall, but Sub-Zero's specific tools really hurt Reptile in these matches because Reptile can't do very much about this. Now, he has EX Slide that he can do, but it's unsafe. So if you read it, you can punish him. But it's his only way to blast through the armor of the Ice Clone. So Sub-Zero wants Reptile right here in this corner. Now, Reptile can kind of zone Sub-Zero, but this trades very favorably for Sub sometimes, but not all the time. But then Sub could do this, and that trades super favorably for Sub. You know what I'm saying? And so in that matchup, there's a back and forth between what the Reptile wants to do and is able to do against Sub and vice versa. And that meta of the back and forth between the two characters is drastically missing from MK11 and MKX. Missing real bad, you know. And so that's one of the things that makes MK9 very enjoyable. But let me also talk about some of these modes. This right here, oh, for starters, look, tag mode. You know, tag mode is a thing in this game, which is like the bomb. And tag combos are some of the most broken things ever, let me tell you. Super fun mode, though. But here's something else that's really dope about MK9. Look at this. Mortal Kombat 9 has this mode that's called Test Your Luck. And in this mode, you can just play the game against an endless string of fighters. And there's not really much of a gimmick, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there can be, depending on the items that are selected for you, but you can just play. You know what I'm saying? You know, what the hell? I didn't mean to do no damn. Damn it. Ooh, wow. Ooh, the whiff punish that I messed up. But yeah, I can play that match, and after I'm done with this, I can fight the next opponent. Let's see if I can actually do good this time. Damn it. Yeah. Now, I don't know why she's not breaking this. Oh. I thought she was done. Yeah. I can play again. You see? So if you really want to learn a character that you're trying out, you could just do this and just play. And notice it's a different opponent. And I just happened to get the same modifier, but if they gave you a modifier you didn't like, you could just hit retry. You see? And so this game, it's not perfect, but this game gave you the most freedom. This game let defenders defend and it let attackers attack without biasing the game in one person's favor or another. This game also gave a lot of combo freedom without making the gameplay degenerate and, making it cater towards heavy 50-50 based offense. And so that's why, to me, Mortal Kombat 9 is NetherRealm's very best Mortal Kombat game. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 comes out on September 19th. It's the 12th installment in the MK franchise. And based on everything that I'm seeing, it has the potential to replace this game as my favorite MK. It has all the potential in the world because it's incorporating a lot of the elements that made this game the best for me, while adding some new flavors all its own. And so here's hoping that MK1 replaces this magnificent game for me. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, I think I've talked you guys' ears off long enough. So with that being said, I'm out. 1.